for another Ask Nico Q&A where you ask me questions and I try really hard to answer them well. So let's just jump right in. Remember, if you have a question, please leave a comment below, or you can post on the Scarlet Moon Facebook wall. Or if you want to ask your question privately but still have it answered on air, then you can send a private message to me at Scarlet Moon Nico on Twitter. Quick reminder, I will not be doing a Q&A next week because I will be on a plane and then also in Sedona. So I probably won't be doing any Q&As until I get back. I will be getting back, however, on Tuesday the 31st of March, so I might be able to put one up then. Ramona Hurley asks, is it law of attraction or psychic? Can you help me differentiate between the two with your ideas? For example, Friday I got the strong idea that I should buy a bike chain for my son so it won't get stolen. Saturday he forgot to take the bike chain with him and the bike got stolen. Things like that happen all the time. Am I drawing it to me or predicting? Thanks in advance. I think that that is probably a prediction, to be perfectly honest. You know, I think a lot of people might say it's law of attraction because they might not like the idea of psychic intuition, and a lot of people sometimes do believe that law of attraction isn't even really a law, it's just kind of like a motivational sort of thing. I personally do think this is psychic intuition, which is really cool. You should work on that. And there's nothing, I mean, they both work together. You know, when you learn how to work with both together, you don't have to differentiate the two that much, but I think this is precognition, to be perfectly honest. You know, if you thought you should buy a bike chain because that's a premonition. That's not law of attraction. You didn't manifest it by having a premonition. Passionate and Loyal asks, Nico, I was wondering if you could give me advice on what would be a good dude repellent. You could just follow me around and take some notes. I just broke up with a boyfriend I was with for 3 years, and now every guy in town knows I'm single, so I'm living with my mom, which is just scary. I need to focus on myself and my children right now. I don't need distractions, and I'm so distracted sometimes. Okay. So you're kind of in a situation where you are trying to eliminate the potential for distraction, which is fine. My best advice would be to get a hold of some black jasper. That is a very affordable stone, and everyone out there, you know, black jasper is fantastic for when you want to go unseen, so to speak. You know, you want people to leave you alone, you don't even want to have the temptation. You know, it's a really good privacy stone, okay? So that's like the first thing that comes off the top of my head. Go get yourself some black jasper and, you know, really kind of work a little bit more on that, alright? Or any kind of stone that has a little bit more to do with kind of mitigating sexual energy. Moss agate's really good for that too. X Blue Dream 89X. Hey Nico, you're awesome and I love you. Thank you. I have a question regarding dreams. In 2010, I started taking magic seriously, and I had great results and lots of gifts from the universe/spirit. But I started having nightmares and prophetic dreams. Most of the time, if it involves me, I can control the dreams and make magic, shape it to my will, etc. The only problem is the dreams are so realistic, so powerful, and occur every night. Not a single day has gone by without a dream. Is this good or bad? Is there a way to stop it or work with it? I would say that this itself looks like it could actually be not necessarily like a psychic attack or anything like that. But if you are in like a very hypersensitive state like that, you know, I think that you need to be able to have kind of like a switch, like an on and off. I don't think that you should quit it altogether, you know, I mean, because there are good things in there, and you can learn to work with it. Obviously, you're working on lucid dreaming and things like that as well. If I were you, I would take some time to study into things like dream pillows. If you're practicing magic, that's pretty basic magic, but you can customize the dreams that you're going to have with those things. You know, now if you have pets like kitties and puppies, make sure that the herbs and things like that you put in there are going to be safe and non-toxic. I would say that also a good option for you as well would be to perhaps actually take some time to really kind of focus on meditating on re-energizing your lower chakras, your root chakra, and your sacral chakra especially. Because when we're too up high, you know, all the time and we're not in balance, we do tend to kind of let that thing gets out of our control. Our psychic ability, our intuitive ability gets out of our control, and that can affect our dreams, okay? So take that advice, do that research, and I'm sure you'll do a good job. Thanks for asking. L. Jean asks, "Hi Nico, my question is, I listen to the forecast for my natal rising sign and they always make sense. Should I listen to the forecast for my progressed rising sign as well to get even more clarity? Thanks and blessings." I can understand a progressed sun, but a progressed rising sign, that is up to you, because when I look at progressed rising signs, sometimes, it's like, how much do they really change? If your progressed rising sign, if your rising sign is like mine, where it does progress and change, my progressed rising sign is Scorpio, then I think that would be something to do. Actually, I would look into that. But if it's not really in another, if your first house is still the same first house as it was always before, stick with it. Stick with what your natal chart is. But if your first house has changed enough, like mine has, then go with the progressed. And obviously you seem savvy enough in astrology, you'll know what I'm talking about. Ria M asks, "Hey Nico, I really enjoy watching your videos and I learned so much from watching them. Thank you. Let's see here. The upcoming solar eclipse on March 20th will square both my Saturn and Uranus, which are conjunct in the 8th house in my natal chart." Okay. "And the eclipse falls in your 11th house. Both Saturn and Uranus are heavily affected my birth chart. I'm worried the effects this eclipse could have. I have tried researching what kind of impact I can expect, and I've had no luck. What do you think of the result of the eclipse squaring your Saturn and Uranus?" To be perfectly honest, this is a new moon eclipse. I don't see new moon eclipses as negative ever. And that's just my personal feeling. Obviously, go with the astrologers you resonate with and the ones that you trust. But I will say that as far as this is concerned, if there is a square, it's actually the opposite of what you're thinking. I don't think the moon is going to affect your Saturn and your Uranus. I think your Saturn and your Uranus may actually serve to mitigate the moon itself. Now, this to me looks like this could be an issue with intimacy or shared resources causing a problem with a new group of friends or a friend that you already have, and that is the new phase that is beginning. But it's actually the opposite. It's not the eclipse setting off your Saturn and Uranus, it's your Saturn and Uranus that might be changing the eclipse. But remember, we always have free will, and we're always, at the end of the day, we decide what we're going to tolerate from astrology, okay? The Soft Parade 89 asks, "Hey Nico, I know there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that are very fear-based and negative. Do you believe in the Illuminati conspiracy or other commonly discussed theories or government cover-ups?" Lapis Lazuli also asked this question. She wanted to know if the world was run by reptilians. And to be perfectly honest, I don't weigh in on those things. I kind of feel like when I hear things like reptilians and Illuminati, and no offense, but sometimes when I hear like crystal children and star seeds, I think of it as like costume party community to some degree. What's going on here on either side? Do I think that there are reptile aliens? I have not seen strong enough evidence to suggest that they're aliens from another planet, and I'm not a channeler. And, the ones that do channel, I'm not sure if I put a whole lot of stock in all the time. So I'm going to say I haven't had enough personal experience or evidence to say yes, so I'm going to say no for now. Do I think that there is some kind of conspiracy cover-up thing going on? Yes. But my personal feelings is that it's actually more spiritual and magical. Alright? So someone might say they're reptiles. Nico might say that there's a bunch of dark astrologers and sorcerers out there working for the government or something like that. Does that mean that I'm going to use that as an excuse for my own life? No, absolutely not. But that would be probably closer to what I'm thinking about. If these things are in power and covering up, they know more about this kind of stuff than a lot of people who are just waking up. But I think that would be, if I were to go somewhere, I'd go with that as opposed to the stuff that's been kind of like dropped at my feet. Lauren L. Rogers. Oh, this is from Facebook. She wanted to just know, what do I think of Sidereal astrology? My whole life I've been a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Virgo rising, and today I read I'm a Libra. What? Okay. Excuse me. Alright, when it comes to Sidereal astrology, for people who don't know, there is a system of astrology that basically believes that over the period, depending on which system you're looking at, that the signs themselves have actually changed. The spring equinox has changed. And so the Greeks actually kind of brought it to 0 degrees Aries, but a lot of people theorize that in the beginning it actually was somewhere in about 15 to 14 degrees Aries. And so there's a big debate about that, and that changed the signs. Personally, depends on what you mean by sidereal astrology. Some sidereal astrologers believe certain signs, like certain, sections of the chart, of the zodiac, are only as wide as the constellation themselves. So in tropical astrology, classical astrology, Scorpio, Virgo, whatever, all those kind of stuff, they're all 30 degrees, in size. But in some sidereal astrology circles, some people believe that they're as large as the sign themselves. So some signs are going to be bigger than others. I don't believe that, so I don't really hold a lot of credence for that kind of sidereal astrology, just because I believe that math should be more important. And I also think that, if you're interested in how the sidereal astrology works, Cyril Fagan, the guy who advocated a lot of it, and that's who a lot of the books that modern sidereal astrologers look into, didn't even come up with a conclusive answer to when he thought the spring equinox began. No, I don't believe in a 13th sign. If you're interested in sidereal astrology or an astrology system that follows the sidereal calendar, I would be more I would direct you more towards Hindu astrology or Vedic astrology. That actually works on the timetable with the with sidereal astrology, and that it doesn't, but again, it also works more solid with math. So I could go on and on forever, but I hope that gives you a little bit more. But at the same time, the usefulness of the system depends on the astrologer always. It's like saying, what's better, runes or tarot? Tarot or astrology? Tarot or an oracle deck? Things like that. The proof is always going to be in the pudding. A person can paint a masterpiece with finger paint, and another person could have the most expensive oil set you can imagine and paint a piece of crap. So it all depends. We have Jen. Hello, Jen. She asks, I know there is a line, and I'm cool with waiting on my turn. That's okay, you already waited a week. I was really interested in your observations on the shadow self and your self-care journey video. That is a little series I'm doing on Scarlet Moon Magic, my other channel, if you want to check it out. But felt that the video was more of a space for you to be heard and understood than it was to be for other people's questions. I thought maybe asking here would be more respectful route. I can relate strongly to some of the issues you talk about, and my shadow self manifests at its core as a protector. What do you think about the concept of the shadow self as part of a person that is trying to correct our internal dysfunction, but is going about it the wrong way? Also, do you think about retraining the shadow self to function in a healthier and more productive way? I really do, and I completely agree. I think that the shadow self is actually trying to correct an internal dysfunction, and maybe even it's kind of I almost look at it as like our martial art. It's like, some people, they practice Kung Fu or Wing Chun or Jiu-Jitsu. Our shadow selves kind of take on forms in that way. Some are more developed than others. Some people's shadow selves don't really do much of anything. In fact, their mark they leave on themselves is the fact that they don't do a thing. There definitely is something that can be retrained. But when we think about that, let's think about our villain archetypes that can be redeemed and do be retrained, and they still have all the same tools that they did before. They're just using them for positive reasons. Yes, they can definitely function in a more productive and healthier way, because there are times where it does take what the shadow has to succeed when doing it well and with love. Alright? So I hope that answers your question. And thank you everyone for writing in. This was a lot of fun. A very, very diverse pick and mix of questions here. Hope you guys have a lovely week. I will see you when I get back from Sedona. Stay tuned. I'm going to have your monthlies coming out here this week as well. Alright? I'll talk to you later.